Today's video is going to be all about, shall we say, the most predictable Hermes entry-level bags and some more exciting alternatives, because I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with any one of these staple Hermes starter bags that are loved by so many, but I think it's also fair to expect something a little bit more special and unique for these kind of prices. You probably don't want to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on something that you'll see over and over again anytime you go luxury shopping or you go on luxury social media. So I thought it might be fun to put some more fresh, more exciting new Hermes bags on your radar. That would be an amazing piece to start your collection with. So if you'd like to find out which are the best and most boring Hermes pieces to start your collection with, in my humble opinion at least, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and keep on watching. You guys know that I love keeping it simple. There is nothing wrong with a simple, understated, not over exaggerated, overdone design, but there's such thing as too simple, too dull, and too boring. And this first bag is the perfect example of that, which is the Hermes Garden Party. And here I'm specifically talking about the Garden Party 30, which I think is the most popular size for the Garden Party. It is the smallest because of course the Garden Party comes in several different sizes, and I think there is a time and a place for the Garden Party. If you are going to carry it to the beach, if you're going to use it as a travel bag or a gym bag, if you are going to use it as a picnic basket or as a grocery bag, it is going to be an incredibly chic alternative to whatever else is out there. But I feel like most people use this bag as an everyday tote, which makes sense because this bag starts at $2,000, just over $2,000 in canvas, but I think it's almost $4,000. I think it starts at $3,700 in leather, which for that kind of money, it makes sense that you would want to use it on a regular basis and you would want to get your money's worth out of it. But I feel like carrying this as an everyday tote bag, using it as a workhorse bag and styling it with a more elaborate, more refined outfit will not do the trick. I think this will drag you down. It just won't add anything to your outfit. It will just make you look like someone who is disorganized and who just threw an outfit together, no matter how you try to style it. I feel like anytime I see someone carrying this bag, it just looks kind of out of place because it has such an overly casual feel to it. Obviously, it was designed sort of as an alternative to a picnic basket that it simply doesn't work in any other context, in my opinion at least. So if you are looking for a workhorse bag, something that you can use on a daily basis, Hermes has some much more refined alternatives for you. Let's start with one of my favorite and most used Hermes bags, which is going to be the grooming bag. Now, this is not technically a bag from the Hermes bag range. Instead, it's part of their equestrian line, which makes it a lot more reasonably priced than other Hermes bags and also a lot easier to get. So the grooming bag, I think, is $2,200 at this point, and it is offered in two different finishes. You can either buy it in canvas in navy blue, or you can buy it in gray felt. I personally prefer the canvas version, but this is genuinely one of my most used bags. So if you have been toying with the idea of buying the the Garden Party as a more casual everyday tote, or if you have been wanting to get it and use it as perhaps a gym bag or as a travel bag, I would suggest looking at the grooming bag too and maybe comparing it and seeing it for yourself if it's something that you would enjoy having in your collection, because I actually find the grooming bag a lot more user-friendly. It features 4 pockets on the outside. It comes with a shoulder strap. The handles are a lot more comfortable in my opinion. It's also a lot easier to just put over your shoulder if you want to carry it as a shoulder bag. And it also comes with a removable insert. The only downside that I can think of when it comes to the grooming bag is the fact that it only comes in one size and one color, unlike the Garden Party. But other than that, if you have been wanting to get the Garden Party because you want a really casual, really simple, but really user-friendly bag that you really don't have to worry about, I would suggest looking at the grooming bag. But if you're looking for something just a little bit more sophisticated and also something that comes in more colors and sizes, the Her bag would be a great option for you to look at. Now, I have been singing the praises of the Hermes bag for years at this point. It is by far one of my most loved Hermes bags, and I cannot believe how underrated that bag is. But if there's anything you want to know about the Hermes bag other than the fact that it is incredible and that it comes in 2 different sizes, well, 2 different sizes in the core line. There are different iterations. There are larger duffel bags, but here we are talking about bags that you could use on a daily basis, sort of as an everyday workhorse bag, in which case I would suggest looking at either the Hermes bag 31 or the Hermes bag 39. But if you would like to see mod shots and hear my in-depth review on this piece, I will make sure to have that linked up here for you. And the Hermes bag currently, I think it starts at just over $2,800 in canvas in size 31. Then your next size up would be 39. Then there is a 39 messenger, which is a seasonal piece, and then there are also duffel bags. But personally, if you couldn't pull off the grooming bag because it's too large for you, I think the Hermes bag 31 or even the 39 would be a great piece for you to play around with. Now, if you're looking for a leather bag, because obviously the grooming bag is 100% canvas, and while the Hermes bag does feature a little bit of leather, the majority, the body of the bag is made of canvas. So if you're looking to buy a leather bag, but something that feels a lot more elevated and sophisticated than a garden party, I would suggest checking out the Victoria. I think we're in the 2nd edition of the Victoria. So the Victoria 2, which is offered in a handful of different sizes and a ton of incredible colors. Now, if you are looking for a workhorse bag, something that you can carry on a daily basis and is a piece that will actually add value to your collection and value to an outfit, this would be a beautiful, understated, classic, elegant bag for you to look into. And I don't want you to be put off by the name, which is Victoria 235, even though it is offered in several different sizes. 35 is the most common, which I feel like a lot of people would think, well, I cannot pull off a Victoria 35 because it's going to be just as big, as overwhelming, and as heavy as a Birkin 35, but it cannot be mentioned on the same page with a Birkin 35. It feels a lot lighter and a lot more compact. It has completely different proportions. It's a lot narrower. It also comes with a fabric lining instead of a leather lining. So if you feel that a Birkin 35 is too large for you, I don't want this size comparison to put you off, because trust me, it feels a lot more delicate than a Birkin 35 would, which is the reason this piece is not part of my collection, because it is just a little bit too small for me, but it is offered in larger sizes too. So if you're looking for a leather bag, something that you can use on a daily basis and will feel a little bit more refined than a garden party would and less like a basket, then the Victoria 2 is still very much around. Moving on to a cult classic, which I can fully understand why this piece is so popular. It is universally flattering. I cannot think of a single person who could not find a place for this piece in their collection, especially considering that at this point it comes in so many different sizes. It is a really simple design, but also there is something unique about the shape and of course the divine letters that Hermes works with, which is the Picotin. Now the Picotin does come in several different sizes, but here I am mainly talking about the Picotin 18 just because that is the most popular size for the Picotin bag, which if you didn't know, the Picotin was inspired by feeding baskets. So it has a really simple pocket-like shape to it. It features 2 really simple handles that are actually part of the body of the bag, although they are slightly reinforced, but it has no lining. It doesn't have any pockets on the inside. The only other detail that I can think of is the fastening, which it doesn't have a real fastening, but you can kind of gather and pull in the top part of the bag, which you can lock with a tiny little Hermes lock, which is the reason the full name of this bag is the Picotin lock, which a lot of people love this bag. If you are a fan of the Picotin, please let us know in the comment section why you love this bag. I can completely understand the appeal, but I think at this point it is really popular and it's something that you have most of us who love and know Hermes have grown accustomed to seeing. So if you're looking to spend your money on something that is just a little bit more special, something that features details that we haven't seen over and over again, I do have a really great suggestion for you, which is the new In the Loop bag. I guess we can still say that it's new because it's only been out for, I want to say, just about a year, but it is an incredibly beautiful yet understated bag. The shape itself is quite similar to the Picotin, but I think it has just a little bit more spice to it. It's a little bit more interesting and a little bit more unique. The In the Loop range, of course, pays homage to one of Hermes's most iconic pieces and their most iconic symbol, the shandong detail. So the handles are inspired by the shandong detail, and so is the clasp. Instead of it having this really simple lock detail that the Picotin features, it has a beautiful jewel-like clasp on the inside that allows you to turn this into a really similar sort of bucket bag like the Picotin, or you can actually pull up the corners and use it as almost a shopper or a mini tote bag. So it is something that you can, it's a little bit more adaptable than I feel the Picotin is. There are more ways of styling it just because of the overall shape, which I really appreciate about this bag. And I love the fact that it also comes in two different sizes, in size 18 and size 23. Now, obviously the Picotin comes in 5 different sizes at this point. It comes in a micro, an 18, 22, 26, and are they still making it in 33? I'm not sure about that, but at one point they did. So the Picotin comes in 4 or 5 sizes, but the most popular are definitely 18 and 22. So if those are the sizes that you've been after, just keep in mind that the In the Loop is still very much around, and it also comes in 2 different sizes, although it is going to be slightly more expensive than the Picotin, which the Picotin starts at $3,025 in size 18, whereas the In the Loop starts at $4,500 in size 18, and then it jumps up to, I think, $4,700, somewhere between $4,700 and $4,800 in size 23. But I do think that all the details, the unique handle, and the beautiful jewel-like clasp, and the fact that you can style it both as a bucket bag or as more of a shopper style bag does justify the price, and I think it would add a lot more to your collection than a Picotin would. Not that there's anything wrong with the Picotin, but if you're looking for something just a little bit more unique, something that you haven't seen around quite as much, and also a bag that has some more unique head turning elements, this is something that I would suggest also putting on your radar. This next bag might be Hermes's most popular bag, but I have to be honest with you, I could never really wrap my head around the hype. It actually took me quite a few years to add this bag to my collection, not because it was so hard to get, especially when I first started buying Hermes, but mainly because I didn't really feel that I had a need for this piece in my collection, even though there's really nothing quite like it in the Hermes range. Thankfully, at least I am not missing anything quite as casual as this particular piece, which here we are going to be discussing the Evelyne and mainly the mini Evelyne, considering that it is the most popular piece in the Evelyne range. And if you would like to hear my deep dive on the mini Evelyne, see mod shots, see and hear about my experience having this bag in my collection for a couple of years now, I will make sure to have that video linked down below for you. But long story short, there just isn't anything life-changing about this piece. It is incredibly casual, really simple and basic, which one of you pointed out that you think the very value of this bag is exactly that it is so simple that it goes with anything and everything, which I 100% agree with. If you are looking for a bag that you can just throw on with anything and everything, you know, this won't add anything to your collection, or it won't add anything to an outfit, but it won't take anything away either, like the garden party would. So if you are just looking for a no-brainer bag, something that just genuinely goes with anything and everything, something that is quite dull and just blends in with really anything, this is a bag that I think you would be able to take advantage of. But I wanted to find you something that was just a little bit more special and a little bit more exciting, and it wasn't an easy task because there really isn't anything quite like it in the Hermes range. But then I remembered this new bag that launched for fall winter as part of the men's collection, but you know that I don't care about labels. I think you should buy whatever makes you happy, and I do think that this bag would make a lot of people happy, which is the so-called Nouvelle Pochette. Now, I understand that this is not going to be everyone's cup of tea because it is a little bit more robust and a little bit more substantial than the mini Evelyne. But if you're looking for a really simple, casual, understated leather bag that you can carry on a daily basis as a crossbody bag, this might be something special for you to at least try to track down and have a look at it for yourself, maybe even play around with. I love the leather wrapped lock detail, which if you're familiar with Hermes, you know that it is something that is usually reserved for their exotic bags or their Birkins and Kellys made in white. For some reason, their white bags also feature a leather wrapped lock, so it is a really interesting detail to find and see on a bag that's not made of exotic leather. And this bag also features a removable shoulder strap, so you're not only getting a crossbody bag, but it's also something that you can carry as a little pochette or clutch bag. So if you are looking for a really cool, casual, everyday laid back bag that isn't the mini Evelyne, this might be something interesting for you to check out. And my friends, this brings us to the end of today's video on some of the best and most boring Hermes entry-level bags. I really hope you enjoyed it and it inspired you to explore some fresh new Hermes launches. If it did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And while you're down there, make sure to let us know your thoughts on some of these Hermes entry-level bags. I cannot wait to hear what you have to say. Do you like any one of these bags? Would you consider adding any one of these to your collection? Or do you still prefer the classics? I cannot wait to read what you have to say. And I hope to see you back here with a new video really, really soon.